awful sound means we are back for another episode of the Battery Baseball Podcast. I am Cody.
I am Ricky.
And we are going to do our first... I don't either. It's okay. We're going to do our first edition in a few weeks. Probably closer to like a month and a half, 2 months. But we are now past the All-Star break. One game past the All-Star break.
It's the second day of baseball.
Yeah, second game of baseball since we left San Diego. Not us personally. We weren't fortunate enough to go out there.
I was there.
Whatever. You were in Pensacola. That's not San Diego.
That's what you think.
Regardless, you were catching Pokemon.
And
wherever you were, that's all you did.
All you knew was I took a trip for baseball. Am I right or wrong?
This is actually, when you told me you were leaving, I didn't know what you were down there for.
But when I was at my destination, you knew I was there for baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And all you know is I was at a beach.
San Diego has beaches, so it could have very well been San Diego.
I was gone before the Home Run Derby, before the Futures game, came back after the All-Star game. So for all you know, I was in San Diego.
That's true. Very true. So... all right.
It was fun.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself in San Diego. Thanks for leaving me here.
And my first All-Star game.
It was fun. That's great. I don't know if I can be your co-host anymore. I'm done. Quit. Walking away after this one.
Don't be mad at me because you didn't take the initiative. Thanks for bringing me water, too. I appreciate it. Anyway, we're going to talk about baseball sooner or later. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's going to get to that point at one of these times.
It's on the docket. At some point today, we're going to get to baseball. The one thing that I want to talk about first, as someone that pays a lot of attention to transactions throughout the league, the Astros made a really dumb one monetarily. While I don't know much about the player, don't know why that played again.
I love it.
That was completely random, and I'm sorry to anybody who actually listens to this and heard that for the second time today. I want to talk
You're welcome. We're hearing it for the second time today.
What's his name? Ulieski Gurriel?
It's not important. In my opinion, and this comes from somebody that doesn't pay attention to the transaction nearly as much. When you sign somebody that's, what was he, 32? Mm-hmm. 32 for 5 years, $47.5 million. A guy that you haven't seen play in the majors. I just feel like that was a very, very, very...
That's a very bold move. And while that may be the going rate for most international players, and he has had a 17-year career between Cuba and Japan.
Not somebody that old.
Yeah, the talent in Cuban leagues and Japanese leagues is different than the talent they'll face here. I'm not going to say that Cuban players aren't mostly equivalent to, or most of them aren't ready for the MLB, because a lot of them are. But still, you're giving it to an unproven guy. I understand that you want to push for the playoffs, and the Stros have turned it around tremendously.
All right.
They are playing like a much better team, not that team we saw in the first half, or the first part of the first half.
Yeah, they turned it on.
They've really turned it on. They're doing well. So I understand why you'd want to do that. But that's a lot of money for
somebody that's unproven.
Yeah.
I don't understand shelling out that kind of money to somebody that you don't know what they're going to do over here. Mm-mm. All the other international players that have come over and made a splash, they've all been a lot younger. Mm-hmm. I want to say in their mid-20s.
Yeah. Or sometimes, they usually get to the majors in their 20s, but I mean, they're signed when they're 16, so you give a guy $47 million when he's 16 years old.
Right.
It's a little bit different because you're going to get the better years of his career.
Right.
And
albeit all those years might not be what you expect.
Yeah, they might not be.
That's going to be the best that you're going to get.
Yeah, you're going to get his best years physically.
And we've seen before that baseball is a league where you're paid for what you've done, not what you will do. But at 32 years old, and he'll end when he's 37. This contract will end when he's 37. I feel like you're paying him for a a lesser form of baseball and what he did in that. You're not necessarily paying him for what he did in the pros. So, or in the majors.
Maybe this move works out and the $10 million or so it'll end up what's 47.5 divided by 5? 9 and some change?
Yeah.
So that $9 million,
about 9.5.
Oh, that $9 million average annual value, maybe that'll end up paying off for the Astros. I don't necessarily see that happening because physically his body has probably already started slowing down. He's not going to come over here and give you the best he's got because he doesn't have much physically. How many position players do you know after 32 that just turn it on and find another level and can play in the field every day?
Usually if they do, they get caught for PEDs.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you take that for what it is. But I just think that was a bad decision. It's people getting paid a lot more and are a lot smarter and have a lot more behind their actions than I do mine. Mm-hmm. But it didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and the Braves are in a similar situation. They've got another Cuban player, Hector Oliveira. You might not have heard of him. You might not know much about the guy because he hasn't played much in the majors. He's been suspended the whole season just about. I think he played 5-10 games with us at the beginning of the year, and boom, he was suspended for assault. So,
well, I think that was a little bit different because we got him from the Dodgers, right?
Yeah, but we still had to pay everything that was left on that deal.
I mean, even being so,
and he's over 30.
We got him from the Dodgers, and he had already been playing in the minors. I don't know his stats, but I'm guessing he was doing pretty well. You know what I mean? Like, that's at least somebody you have something on.
Yeah, I mean,
from over here.
Yeah, they weren't eye-popping numbers by any means, but I mean, he wasn't terrible. But I'd still say it's a similar situation. I mean, luckily, it's not the same amount of money. Mm-hmm. But still, a guy over 30, man, it's just not something.
You're kind of taking a chance.
Yeah, you're really shooting in the dark there. I don't like the move personally. Like I said, maybe it'll pay off for the Astros. Maybe it won't. Who knows? But I just wanted to touch on that before we really got started. But yeah, we're out of the All-Star break. You said you were able to catch the home run derby, or part of it?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, my bad. What do you think of Giancarlo's show he put on?
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, those are some serious power.
Absolutely
that
ridiculous.
Was some serious power there. What did he hit? 61 home runs?
61 total.
Yeah, that's.
I think he had a round where he hit 24, and he also had a round where he hit 20. So, I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, the first round was 24. I think he hit 17 in that last round.
20.
Was it 20?
Yeah.
Against Todd Frazier?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so 17 in the middle round. Yeah, he was a lot of fun to watch. I really enjoyed the All-Star break this year. I actually watched some of the Futures game.
Yeah. Mr.
Bregman.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ.
And I feel like we talk about it every time we record. The young talent in this game is going to be so much fun to watch. Because I know watching Yoan Moncada for the Red Sox, he was a lot of fun to watch in that game.
Did you? Well, Alex Bregman. I have trouble pronouncing his last name.
It's Bregman. Bregman. Yeah.
He's in the Astro system, right?
Mm-hmm.
They said he's most likely gonna move to third.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got Carlos Correa short.
Mm-hmm.
You're not gonna move Jose from second.
Mm-hmm.
But you got it. The way he hit, gotta have his batting lineup. Put him in third. They said he could play it. That was a standout for me.
That's another thing with the back to the Cuban signing. The dude's a middle infielder. You got a logjam in the middle infield.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So that's another thing, man. You got to move this guy to a position he probably hasn't played a whole lot of. If you throw him in left, you throw him in right or something. That's probably a position he hasn't played a ton of.
Yeah.
I
don't get it personally, but
yeah, back to the Futures game. That was fun.
I don't know if you saw the guy that pitched that was throwing over 100.
Mm-hmm.
but they said when he got signed, he could barely touch 90. Forgot who it was, but that was very eye popping.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, young talent's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. Did you watch much of the actual All-Star game?
No, I happened to. I just stayed on the beach all day there.
Yeah.
I decided not to go to that one.
The All-Star game was a lot of fun to watch too. I enjoyed it. Both of the Royals
had big days.
Yeah, they drove in all 4 runs for the American League.
Yeah.
And Haas ended up with All-Star game MVP.
Quick question while we're talking about the All-Star game. Did you hear what Bryce Harper said about making that fun again and how the All-Star game shouldn't count for anything? It's just supposed to be fun.
Yeah, I agree. It should be fun. It should.
Do you not think it's fun when you watch it?
I love watching it, but I don't think there should be as much meaning behind the game.
All it is the winner has home field
advantage. I don't think that's fair. I would like it to just, if you're gonna have it where it determines something like home field advantage in the championship series, I feel like you have to let the managers pick the teams. That way they can get the best players to give their side the best shot at home field advantage and not let the fans vote.
So who should have been an all-star this year that was the best player and should have taken somebody else's spot this year?
Offhand, I don't know of anybody that was left off the team, but do I think guys like Eduardo Nunez should have been an all-star? Does his team have any shot making the playoffs?
Still in the first half, we don't know.
The Twins are going to come back and pull off them. They're going to go, 80-something and 0 for the rest of the season? And
all they got to do is get to a wild card.
Okay, so they're going to win 60 of their last however many games.
I'm just saying. Anything's possible.
They are the second worst team in baseball, Ricky.
Just saying.
And they're battling neck and neck with the worst team in baseball.
Who's the first worst?
Don't even make me say it. You know exactly who it is. And they're not going to do it either.
Hey,
do I think Julio Teheran should have been an all-star? He got a nice ERA.
He's had a good season.
I feel like maybe my points don't make any sense, but I just feel like if you're going to
they're not making sense at all.
If you're going to determine home field advantage with a game like that,
the thing is, these guys are professional athletes, right?
Stop letting teams, fan bases, stuff ballot boxes.
These guys are professional athletes.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be competitive about it regardless.
Mm-hmm.
After the 5th inning, it's going to turn into, okay, I really don't want to lose. I just want to win for nothing other than bragging rights.
Mm-hmm.
So why not give it a little something? Why not?
If bragging rights is the prize, why do you need home field advantage in the World Series?
I'm just saying, like, fans don't get bragging rights.
You're right.
We're not benefiting from that.
I don't think that should be a game for the fans. That's a game that right now determines home field advantage in the World Series.
And it's for the fans.
No, it shouldn't be.
The All-Star game should be
for the fans. The fans, turn it into a slow-pitch softball game where you get the best 30 players from each league and make it fun. If it's really for the fans.
I feel like it is fun. They're having fun. Everything Bryce Harper has said is just poppycock to me. He's a baby, in my opinion.
Yes, everything that he spouts off might be poppycock. But I somewhat agree with it.
Okay. Well, I'm almost 100% positive 29 other people that were at the game don't agree with it. So
maybe they just didn't want to speak up about it.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Bryce Harper needs to shut the fuck up and go do what he's supposed to be doing.
How many MLB players do you get a chance to?
Well as he did last
how many
year.
MLB players do you get a chance to interview?
Oh, I talked. While I was down there for the All-Star game, I talked to a few.
Did you?
I talked to Haas and Salvi after their big days.
Why didn't you record this? We could have thrown that interview into the show.
I was so excited that I was doing it. I just totally blanked. I talked to Poppy about retiring.
What do you say? Give you any inclination that he might stick out and come back?
Nah, he
No?
said
He's
said
done.
this
He's
is
hanging
gonna
it up.
be it. Yeah,
No
he
Brett
said this is
Favre's
gonna
here.
be it. Nah, no
Okay.
Brett Favre's here.
All right. Well, I'm glad you got a chance to interview some guys and didn't bring
I'm sorry, man.
those clips back for the
It
show.
was an accident.
For the benefit
of course,
of
I
our
got
fans.
to Mookie. Talk to Mookie.
As you should have. Absolutely.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a fun experience.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself at your first All-Star game.
Thank you.
You didn't think about anybody else while you were there.
I'm sorry.
That's very selfish of you.
I mean, it might be, but I've been to an All-Star game. You haven't, so it is what it is.
Well, now that the All-Star break is over and we are starting the second half, the next big thing in the season is the trade deadline. Do you have any predictions, any guesses as to what might happen before the August 1st deadline?
Not any big ones. I see us getting rid of Julio.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it, but I see it happening.
Mm-hmm.
I heard one rumor, Julio going to Texas for Joey Gallo.
Can't say I'd be upset.
Yeah, I'm not too against that, other than the fact that, like I said, we lose Julio. I mean, but it's gotten to the point we need bats, and Joey Gallo is a power bat.
Mm-hmm. At a power position too.
And but other than that,
at a position where we do have a hole. I mean, D1 Adonis Garcia is your long-term third baseman.
I heard something about Craig Kimbrell coming back. I don't know when, but
if we're going to get an arm, I don't want a bullpen arm. You know.
Yeah, but I'll take Craig.
I'll take a couple right
I don't
now.
care.
I understand the sentiment.
It's not even about sentiment. I mean, partially, but big part of it.
Well, he just had knee surgery.
Craig didn't want to leave.
No. Most of the guys
Craig
in the Braves traded, they didn't want
Craig
to
has
leave.
pitched marginally worse since he's been gone.
Mm-hmm.
I think he loved pitching in Atlanta. We talked about it. That has something to do with it, where you are.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, hell, B.J. Upton should have been an all-star because he's out here playing like a daggone MVP.
Okay, so B.J. Upton should have been an all-star and wasn't. That's not good. Because every team has to have one representative.
It's only because everybody's looking for BJ, and it's not on there like that. That's the reason he didn't get in.
I highly doubt that's the reason Melvin Upton didn't make the All-Star team. Melvin Upton didn't make the All-Star team because the fans didn't want Melvin Upton to make the All-Star team. That's why he didn't make it. But if it were up to Terry Collins' old ass, he might have been an All-Star. If he got to pick the teams, why wouldn't you have Melvin as one of the... He's a hometown guy. They were in San Diego. Why wouldn't he have been one? I probably would have put him on my squad, honestly. Even though I hate Melvin, BJ, whatever you want to call him.
Nah, you hated BJ. You don't hate Melvin.
I hate Melvin.
Because Melvin's done nothing to you. He should have made the name change sooner.
He's done nothing to me. He's done nothing for me.
Except for give you great highlights.
He gave me one great highlight as a Brave. And I called that
That
highlight.
was BJ.
You're right. That was BJ. Okay. Anyways, moving on from Melvin, BJ, whatever you want to call him. You said you heard the Joey Gallo rumor.
Yeah.
But that's you don't have any big predictions or anything?
No, I don't have any big predictions. I think maybe Boston tries to get an arm, a big arm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would like to see, but he's having a really bad year, and I wouldn't know if that's who's behind him or if he's pitching badly. But Chris Archer going to Tampa Bay. Going to Boston. I'd like to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Meets back up with David Price, who I feel like kind of mentored him.
Mm-hmm.
They both went to Vandy. You know, they were both power arms.
I think that would be a
Boston
good move.
Needs that.
That would be a really good move. But they just got Drew Pomeranz, so I don't know how many more arms they're going to go after.
Yeah.
Not to mention they traded a top 5 prospect for Drew Pomeranz.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how many more arms they're going to target.
Jason Hamill was hitting 250.
No, I did not. Wow, what in the world? Jason Hamill.
Okay.
That's a pitcher.
Yeah.
Jesus. Man, that's crazy. Anyways, I guess the only thing, as a Braves fan, I know we need a catcher going into next year. I don't really want Tyler Flowers starting. We don't have a guy like Christian Betancourt in the system anymore.
I'm not upset with Tyler Flowers because
I'm not
games
upset
I've
with
seen, he's not going to lose us behind.
No.
He's not going to lose them for us behind the plate.
I'm not.
And he's got a decent bat.
I'm not upset with how he's played this year, but do I want him as my catcher going forward into the new stadium or a long haul catcher? Probably not. If we can get a catcher, you probably already know who I'm going to say. He's been on the trade block for a couple years now. You are the only person that doesn't want Jonathan Lucroy in a Braves
apparently
uniform.
everybody that's not a Milwaukee Brewer doesn't want him because nobody has made a move for him. Actually, even Milwaukee doesn't want him because he's been on the trading block. So there are 30 MLB teams that don't want him, plus me. So now,
I don't think that there are 30 teams that don't want him. I think there are 30 teams or 29 teams who have thought the price was too steep.
And 30 teams that thought.
Do I think that he would be a good fit in Atlanta? Yes, because we don't have a catcher. We've got A.J. Pierzynski. Tyler Flowers is hurt, so we've got A.J. Pierzynski. Chase Darno, I guess, if you need him. He was the emergency option the other day. I remember that. I remember reading the tweet. He was our emergency catcher. So
we don't need Jonathan Lucroy.
All right, whatever. That's what I'd like to see happen as a Braves fan. Controllable contract. He's got a good bat. He's a gold player on MLB The Show. So
J-Hay was a gold player on MLB The Show.
J-Hay fluctuates. He changes like I change underwear.
Every day.
Couple weeks between pairs, I guess.
Wow. That's disgusting.
I'm kidding. I'm not even wearing any right now.
Okay.
All right. This is just getting out of hand. Let's just move on. Right past the trade deadline. David Ortiz, you said you spoke to him.
Yeah.
He's hanging it up. But he absolutely shouldn't. He's shown.
I don't think he should.
That he's got so much more in the tank.
The only thing that sucks is we say he shouldn't hang it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say he does come back next year and he's nothing like this. And I'm talking like a 5 home run season, hits 250,
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, dang, I wish you would have hung it up last year.
Okay, yeah.
Go out while you're good.
You want to ride off into the sunset, I get it, but
let's be real.
David Ortiz ever going to be a 5 home run guy?
I don't think so. I was a bit extreme with that, but you got what I was saying.
Yeah, you say he has a down year where he's not David Ortiz, and it looks bad.
It looks terrible.
But does it tarnish his legacy? No. Dude's still got over 500 home runs, and he's only creeping higher on that list.
Well, you look at him like, dude, who was Peyton Manning?
Mm-hmm.
Peyton Manning had a great career, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did he not look completely awful last year?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I don't want to see happen to Poppy.
He did, but hey, he went out the way you're supposed to go out. He got a ring.
Yeah.
He got as many rings as his Downsy brother. So that's all Peyton was trying to do. He didn't want Eli to be better than him at Thanksgiving. He didn't want Eli going, look, Peyton, I've got 2 of these. How many do you have?
Now Peyton can say,
hey, Eli, let's touch ours together. Maybe we can be superheroes if we touch them together.
I don't think that's how it works.
Probably not. Both of them got water heads. Anyways.
But
I want
Poppy's
David
having a great year.
When you get a guy like this that we've watched for so long now,
mm-hmm.
even though we're not Red Sox fans per se, we've been David Ortiz fans. Probably since the 2004 season when they came back against the Yankees.
Yeah, and he hasn't done anything wrong with my mind since then.
No. And I hear people talk about, he has more positive drug tests than Barry Bonds throughout his career. Blah, blah, blah. Who cares? Everybody was doing it at some point.
Barry, who should also be a Hall of Famer in my opinion. But anyway.
We don't have a vote, unfortunately. But we get this show big enough, who knows? Maybe one day.
But he's going out the way he needs to. I mean, he'll never have to pay for anything in Boston.
No, he's beloved up there. He's beloved throughout baseball, unless you're a Yankees fan. I really am going to be sad.
I'm really curious to see how the Yankee fans treat him in their last series.
The same way that Red Sox fans treated Jeter when he came. Everybody stood, tipped their cap, and respected it. It wasn't, oh, well, we've hated you for the last 20 years. We're going to continue to hate you. We're going to respect you because this is the last time we get to see your greatness. I think he's going to get a standing ovation the last time he's in New York.
The only reason I don't know is because I feel like Jeter was great across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Poppy also great across the board. But it seems like when you play the Yankees, he's always that guy that just crushes their hearts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
And when you have a rivalry, that's what you're supposed to do. Chipper did it against the Mets for his whole career.
Bryce Harper's doing it to the Braves.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that rivalry, they're supposed to be.
I never respect him.
Yeah, when he decides to hang it up, although it won't be in Washington,
Bye.
I'm gonna be like, good riddance. Finally, about time. Thank you. Please be gone. But yeah, it's gonna be a sad day. At the end of the season. Hopefully, I think Boston will make the playoffs. And all they got to do is get there in a 5-game series.
They got enough hitting.
Yeah, they got the best offense in baseball. I saw that earlier and was like, wow.
Not surprised.
Like they literally lead in OPS, doubles, home runs. It's outrageous what they're doing up there.
Xander, Mookie, JBJ,
Travis Shaw.
He's
been good this year.
They got Poppy. They got Petey down there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. So
they just got a real good offense.
Ryan Hannigan's had a good year for them.
Has he?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been paying attention to him.
Yeah, he's had a good year for Boston, so that's good. I really see them, if they can get there, I see them making a pretty deep run.
Yeah, sure.
I'd like to see them. I'd like to see the Orioles get knocked out just so Poppy has a chance at another ring. The Braves won't win it this year. The Royals won't win it this year. So
Braves might win it.
Shut up. I don't know where you think we're going to pull 60 wins out of our ass, man. This is not going to happen. It's not. Especially if we trade away our ace and don't get MLB-ready bats.
Everybody's going to come together.
I think you're living in a fantasy world, and you need to come back to Earth and see what the Braves are really dealing with. We just said they don't have any bats, and we need bats. And you can't score runs without bats, so... All right.
That's true.
David Ortiz, thank you for the last 12 years that I've watched you play. You've been great.
I'm going to miss you, David.
As
Big
will
Poppy.
everybody. Give me some second half predictions, how you think the rest of the season will play out. And the Twins and Braves making the playoffs doesn't count, so...
Well, that would be awesome just because that is what has happened for the two worst teams.
But they did it the next year. Gotcha. They didn't just turn it on July 20th and say, all right, let's rip shit and win the series this year.
Okay.
Just doesn't happen.
So next year, that's my prediction.
But we need second half of this year predictions.
Okay. Cubs are going to turn back around. Okay. I think they just went through a rut.
Everybody does.
Yeah, everybody does. They're pitching. The only thing that it was weird because all their pitching was good, like amazing. But you're gonna return back to the norm, and you're gonna even out sooner or later. They just happen to all do it at the same time, so that's why that looked bad.
They're getting Dexter Fowler back too to start the second half.
That's a big catalyst for that offense. So I think they'll win their division. And the NL East, man, I still don't really know.
I don't either, man. The Marlins have been playing great ball.
He's going to come back this year, right? Yep. It was just 80 games.
So
and it happened early.
Yeah,
so
I want to say like the beginning of May. So, yeah, he should be coming back.
He should be back soon.
Late July, early August.
And the way Jose's pitching, you kind of got to get behind him.
Their defense has been so strong. Up until the other night, they had went like 27 games without an error or something. It was crazy.
Yeah. So, I'm not so sure about the NL East. It's in between those. It's in between the three of the Nationals, Mets, and Marlins. It's gonna be one of those three. If you don't win the division, they're not gonna come out of and get the wild card though. I don't think. And
now my pick for the wild card are probably gonna be St. Louis and LA.
And in the West, I'm not I'm thinking the Dodgers.
I'm going to go Giants just because it's an even year. Only reason I'm picking the Giants to win the division. Although the 3 titles they've won, they've been wild card teams.
Yeah.
Going into the playoffs. But I think this year they get the division. So it'll be fun to watch.
I'm trying to look up the stats. The standings.
Well, AL, I can already tell you the Indians, they're not going to look back. It's going to be a party in Cleveland.
San Francisco's actually leading that division.
That's why I've got San Francisco taking that. Because, hell, with Clayton being out, I know it's not
I should have
forever.
known that because they beat the Cubs to 50 wins. Or 55 wins.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to go Giants from the West. But AL Central, Indians.
Yeah, they're about to run away with it.
The AL West, the Astros,
I think they're going to come on.
They're doing
come
something.
Back and win it.
Yeah, they're doing something magical out there. In the East, probably got Baltimore coming out of the division with Boston and Texas meeting up in that wild card game. I'm going to go Boston over Texas in that.
Boston wins it. I think Boston is going to win the division, though. I think they're going to come back and win that division because they're only 2 games back right now. And I think it'll be Baltimore and Texas in that
in the wild card game.
Or Baltimore and Toronto.
Toronto is a team I'd forgotten about.
Yeah. They're right there, too.
They're not quite as hot as they were last year around this time.
But they're still
a really good team. And it seems like everybody up there is healthy. Tulo for the first time, it seems like he's really healthy, which is really good for them. Joe DiMaggio just singled in the top of the first, so 56 games strong. Yeah. Let's see if he can get another one tomorrow.
I think he might.
We don't know how it'll play out yet. Anyways, I don't know why we keep getting sidetracked today. We have been awful hosts.
Get sidetracked today.
Yeah, we've just been terrible today.
We were gonna do this drunk last night.
Would have been even worse.
It would have been fun.
I was nodding off when we finally got back in the house.
Today we aren't drunk though, and we're still just all over the place.
We're not. We didn't bring our A game today. It's whatever. Everybody has off days.
Everybody has an off day. Hey, whatever.
Give me your 3 award winners in each league.
MVP, National League.
I'm going to throw you a big old curveball in the National League.
Okay.
You want me to go ahead and go first?
Go ahead.
All right. If Washington wins the National League East, Steven Strasburg will be your National League Cy Young and will be your National League MVP. Your Rookie of the Year. Who's a rookie in the National League? Trevor Story, yeah, he's a shoo-in to win the National League Rookie of the Year. There's nobody even close to him and what he's done this year. So, yeah, those are my 2 winners, I guess. I've only got 2 players for 3 awards. So,
right.
AL, What's Josh Donaldson doing? I'd like to see him go back-to-back. You don't know?
No, I don't.
No? Well, that's okay. That's what the internet's for. Josh Donaldson, Baseball Reference. Come here, old friend. He's hitting .303. He's got 23 home runs and 64 RBI. So, right here at the break, he's damn near on pace to do what he did last year at 41 bombs and 123 ribbies.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to go Josh Donaldson winning the American League MVP. Rookie of the Year. Who's a rookie in the American League?
I don't know.
I feel like it's the same guys. I want to say Francisco Lindor, but he's not a rookie. He finished second last year to Carlos Correa, who's also not a rookie, so those guys I can't pick. But they're still so young that I want to pick them as Rookies of the Year. I'm not sure about Rookie of the Year. Let's see. AL Rookies. Not Al Roker.
Well, I think In the NL, my Cy Young is Clayton.
Mm-hmm.
My Rookie of the Year is Trevor Story.
Mm-hmm.
And my MVP would probably be...
I take it back for Rookie of the Year in the National League. Aledmus Diaz with the St. Louis Cardinals. Little shortstop. Guy is hitting .318. He's got 13 home runs, 48 RBI in 82 games.
Wow.
So the average right there.
Did not realize that.
Yeah, the average for him really puts him over the top. Trevor Story is hitting .261 with 20 home runs. Or actually, I take that back, 21 home runs in 82 games. So, Trace Thompson is still listed as a rookie.
That wouldn't be a bad one.
Only hitting .225 and 13 bombs.
If he turns around the average, I say him.
Well, he's got a teammate, Corey Seager, who is a rookie as well, hitting .296 with, I don't know what I'm looking at, 17 home runs.
Well, that's my rookie.
So there's a lot to pick from in the
Corey
National League.
Seager's really good defensively.
He really is. So it's kind of tough to pick.
That's the Rookie of the Year, in my opinion.
I'm still going to go Aledmus Diaz. I really like him. I was watching him play one day. He put one in the gap, and I hadn't heard anything about him being a speed guy. Stood up in the third. And looked so easy. Looks like he knows how to run the bases. So I'm going to go Aledmus Diaz in the National League. And American League is a toss-up. I'm either going to say Tyler Naquin from the Indians, 309.
How's Tyler White doing?
He's not even listed on here. I think he's back in AAA.
Is he?
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I know he's not because I heard something about him yesterday in the dugout. But
well, he's not listed on here, so he's not even at all listed. But Tyler Naquin with the Indians, mostly because of team performance. I think that'll help him get the attention. Or Nomar Mazara with the Rangers, who is a lot of fun to watch, man. His swing is very pretty. You can just tell he is built to be a power guy. And he's hitting .282 right now, 11 home runs, and 36 RBI in 82 games. So it looks like he's the real deal. Daeho Lee, he's actually got some good numbers too, hitting .293, 12 home runs, 37 RBI in 65 games. So he could be somewhere in that mix. Pitchers, I don't think there's anybody really eye-popping as far as pitchers go.
Yeah.
Like, there's some pretty good guys. Barnett with the Rangers, 6-3, 2.36 ERA in 42 innings pitched in 36 games. So I'm assuming probably a reliever. Because it doesn't say, no starts. So it might be harder for him to win as a reliever. But Craig Kimbrell did it. But he was a lights-out closer, so I don't really know how that counts. But those are really good numbers, man. Kenta Maeda, another guy with the Dodgers.
He's doing pretty well.
Yeah, he's 8-6 with a 2.95 ERA.
Yeah.
I'm still going to say it's a toss-up in the American League. Nomar Mazara or Tyler Naquin with the Indians. And then we had a litany of people in the National League as far as rookies go. Some really good names.
I don't know who I think will win the MVP in the National League. I don't. Nobody's standing out to me like Bryce Harper did last year. And I'm sure there are people there. I'm gonna throw you something though. AL MVP Jose Altuve.
And I was just looking at top players in baseball. And it made me kind of rethink my National League MVP thing, too. It would be a teammate of Steven Strasburg.
Yeah.
So, it's a guy hitting .348 with 17 home runs and 66 RBI, who's slugging .598, has an OPS of .985.
Yeah.
So, he's better than Jose Altuve. If you think Jose Altuve can win the American League MVP, there's no reason Daniel Murphy can't win National League.
There it is. Bam.
I mean, those are outrageous numbers. Both of those guys will probably hold on and win a batting title.
Yeah.
But DJ LeMahieu, man, wow, his numbers too: 332, 33 RBI, 81 games played, only 5 home runs, but OPS 886.
Yeah.
Then David Ortiz is another candidate, man. He's hitting 331, 22 bombs. Didn't know Martin Prado was hitting 325. Wow.
I didn't either.
I would take him back in a heartbeat. Carlos Gonzalez is another. He's a front runner, honestly. The power numbers, name recognition. He's hitting 324, 19 home runs, and 55 RBI. Was an all-star. That's a guy that you got to look at.
Got to.
Mike Trout putting up a great year. 319, 18 home runs. But we all know he, for some reason, just doesn't get the love when it comes to the end of the season awards. I think Manny Machado is a guy that could probably end up with more votes than Mike Trout.
Which is going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But it could happen. But, yeah, we'll see.
Well, guys, that's just about all of our time. We're very grateful to anybody that listened. The show will be up shortly. You can follow us on Twitter. I am at BrodyChill5.
I'm at Not Even Rich.
Yeah. All right. So, just everybody go out there, catch all those Pokemon. I know that's what you're doing. Probably not going to listen to the show because you're too busy catching Pokemon. But in your meantime, when the servers are down, as they're known to be, give us a listen. Drop us any comments.
You'll never be better than me. I have a Snorlax.
You're not the only person in the world with a Snorlax.
Yes, I am.
Rickey.
You'll never tell me different.
Thank you for listening again. And just for Ricky's sake, I'm going to play it one more time. And we're out of here, guys. Thank you very much.